Hi, I'm Kerry Lord from TOFT. This video forms part of a series to accompany the Edwards Crochet kits, patterns and books. In this video I'm going to cover a more complex colour change or disciplined colour change. So this would be when your pattern is specifically telling you to say double crochet 3 stitches of one colour and then 3 stitches of another colour, and how you should go about doing your colour change to ensure the neatest result. So I've got here a ring. I've just been using one colour, camel at the moment, and I'm going to begin with show you a pattern of say 3 stitches in one colour and 3 stitches in another colour, and I'll go right the way around to show you the pattern of how I would do that. So I'm going to start first with 3 stitches in camel. So into my next stitch and double crochet as normal. So 1, into the following one, 2, and then the bit that's really important is the fact that we're going to set up our colour change in the 3rd stitch of this colour. So put your hook in stitch 3 of the camel, yarn over to this point where you've got 2 loops on your hook, and I'm actually going to add in my silver in this stitch. So I'm actually adding in my new colour in the stitch ahead of the 1st stitch in colour 2. So I've done 1, 2, swap to introduce my silver in colour 3, and then number 1 of the new colour would be this one here. So that would be 1, 2, and exactly the same as we did before. You go in, yarn over to this point in colour 2, and you'd be swapping back to colour 1 in that 3rd stitch of that colour. Pull your ends in at the back to keep that nice and neat, and then we'll go back to doing 1, 2, and then in this 3rd stitch again, at this point where you've got 2 loops on your hook, set up your swap back to that colour. 1, 2, in that 3rd stitch again, so you go in, set it up, and swap back to that colour. Now what this does is it gives you a really, really neat edge, because what it's doing is lining up that colour changing. If you don't do it then, or you swap it at a different point using a different method, you won't get those straight line break colour changes, which are all important if you are putting, say, markings on a raccoon's face or the eyebrows on a schnauzer. The pattern will tell you exactly where you need those colour changings to get those patterns. So just to give you another example, and you can see when I'm doing short breaks like that, I will just run those strands along the back of my work, making sure they're not too tight so they don't change the shape of the thing. So just to recap that, because if it is one stitch, it can often feel a bit more of a fuss. So this time round, I'm going to do 1 stitch in one colour, 1 stitch in the next colour. If I was doing that, I'm going to do 1 stitch in my camel, and I would be swapping to my silver. But that's my camel one. Then my next one would be my silver one. So in there, yarn over to this point where you've got your loops, and you'd swap back to camel. And then in this one, in and swap back. But that thing that you've got to remember whenever you're doing this colour changing is that you need to set up that colour change the stitch ahead of the 1st stitch that you'd be working in that colour. So I was setting up my camel one in my silver, and then my silver one in my camel as I go around that ring.